everyone, welcome back. So, we've been talking all about cards, and I think that's totally fun, and I think we're gonna do a little bit more, actually. Now, I've been working on a order list. So when you make an order, it has different variations, like, ship. I have one that says almost there. I have one that says delivered. And we also have a list, like you can probably filter, and that list has a title, and, different cards look different for things that are in the shipping process. And I've actually started to build out like a little card like that. So I have one that's over here, and this is just like kind of like a live tracker. And maybe, this becomes a component. It probably should become a component, but we're going to create into a recipe for now, and then that's another thing. As I said, design systems will evolve. You will add to them. You will remove from them things that were once useful don't become useful anymore, and things that are needed become components, so you can reuse them. So in this case, this will probably become a component. Now, let me show you what it would look like. So if I had an order card, okay, so I'm just going to grab just a regular order card. So this will be that with this, like I said, we can drop by and make this into an auto layout. So let's bring this over up so we can see exactly what we're working with. So we have an order shipped card over here. And we have our product. So this is probably like a $15 book. Lean startup. So we have our shipped. And what I've done here, I've gone ahead and I started thinking about creating like a little tracker. Something very nice for people to kind of see how things are panning out with their package. There's probably a portion of this that, we're missing something here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take pills, small, if we can even use the base pill in this instance. I'm going to use the base pill at least. And I'm just going to say something like, delivered by 08/08/2020, even though we are past that date at the moment. So we are going to be delivering by then, and that base pill we can also just change that UI. We can do a couple different things. It really depends. Like we can make it background of yellow, and the text can be dark like that. This is, I think, fine for now. So maybe delivery by that date. That looks good. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn this into an auto layout. Big surprise. Whoa. So let's see what happened here. So we have a package tracker. Let's see what happens. So that, interesting. That didn't. So what we can do is kind of copy that. Select where I want it. So that is one piece of the list. And over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an effect, and the background product, we can call this medium. So this is the problem. We have a package tracker, and so we're using the background color. That's the problem. Okay, and this is going to be our background color. We're going to just use a frame. And we are going to use 10 pixels for the radius, and then we are going to apply the recipe to that. So let's not click that content right now. And there you go. We have a card that is probably too unnoticeable. So we have a card here. So this probably should become a component. I'll leave it up to your discretion if you want to do that. We have UI, stroke, just that border there, so that you can distinguish between that and the next card. So we have our order status, so we can say order shipped, And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create another frame. And I'm going to call this order list. And you guessed it, auto layout. Now we're going to do 16 pixels. And we are going to go ahead and grab one of our cards here. We're going to go and find our order card. Where is it? And we'll find a delivered card. And we'll just place it there for now. And this delivered card will go into our order list. Perfect. So that is fine. So I can actually remove this background. Let's make that like that. Let's do that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the background color, or the background. So we have our map tracker, we have our map. We can just pump that up. And yeah, so I'm going to actually remove the stroke because I think, we can just keep it flat. And these can be maybe spaced out, let's see. These should be spaced out probably by 24. And these ones probably around 8. So we have that connection. So I think that's kind of fine for now. I'm liking it. What we're going to do is we can add another item. So when I think of these lists, I think that there's something here. We probably put a horizontal row, but let's move ahead. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to make that title. So if I want to think about order lists, we probably should be able to, filter it. Let's do that. And then let's grab a filter button. So I've been using this checkbox variant that I've made. Where is it? So let's do grow. That's been really good. And we're just going to call this filters. So we can probably filter by different things. Price. Maybe just timeline. Let's bring that together. We can just call this filters. And I'm going to expand that all the way to the full width. I'm going way out there. Okay, so I'm going to take that, and I am going to make sure they are centered to each other. And then I am actually going to take my frame that is now library size, and I'm going to put the filter list in there. So I have my order list, I have my filters, and I'm going to create another frame. Let's call this the filtered list. And auto layout, 24 pixels. Maybe this one is 16. But let's clean that up. So now you can create an easy list of different types of products. You'll notice that we have our last 3 months plus our filters. We have a current ship status. I mean, you can also go ahead and change some of these things. You can say this in transit. So you have different variations, kind of like a live tracker that we've designed here. Then you can just kind of copy. I can just take this like this. Okay, I need to use an order list right now for what I'm designing, or a filter list, and I'm just gonna drop that right into my designs. Easy peasy. So yeah, definitely use recipes. Recipes are going to speed up your workflow. Recipes are going to set a good standard for your team on what different collection of components look like, what components are going to interact with each other, whether that be like these cards or like buttons, checkboxes. It'll also sometimes make you and force you to think about what you may be missing from a component. So we may go back and add this map tracker as a component where people can kind of, use that default map just to display a map. And also using this kind of pinging thing, we can possibly even animate that. So like we can make it go in and out. Or more specifically, just the background. We can just make it pulse when we think about like micro interaction. So pull those different things out of your designs. They're going to really help you, figure out what you need to build and also make your workflow much more easier. That's why I do a lot of these things. This design system is just going to help us, after this app, we can turn it around, make something else from this, but it sets a good standard on what a design system should kind of look like. And it's going to be different for everyone. So this is my design of the orders list.